It's time for another edition of Cowboys Special Edition, brought to you by AT&T. Happy New Year, everybody. The Cowboys taking on the New York Giants, a noon kickoff, Dallas time on Sunday. Could be a very big Sunday, depending on what happens Sunday night as well when Washington plays Philadelphia. Bill Jones with Bucky Brooks, Isaiah Stanback, and Nate Newton as we get you ready for the first Sunday of the new year. Let's get started by going around the horn. And Bucky, the Cowboys have to feel pretty good about things with a 3-game winning streak coming into Sunday.
Yeah, they have to feel good about things to this point, but now it's win or go home. And so all the urgency, the effort, the energy, all needs to be summoned because this is the most important game of the year. They got to be in that best effort. And so I know it's the New York Giants, and I know the Giants may not have a lot of talent in certain areas, but they got to take care of business because the first thing the Cowboys have to do is win and then see what the Washington football team does to determine if they go to the postseason.
Yeah, that's right, but these boys have to focus on one game, and this is the only game that matters. But the thing is, confidence brings momentum, and these boys have been riding high on this momentum over the last few weeks, and now they have to go out there and take care of business and try to determine their future.
I'm doing everything I can now to hit this podium, man, and make this camera jump around. Cowboys have done an amazing job. Coach McCarthy, hats off to you. You went through this disaster, and now you got these guys going in the right direction. Play this game as hard as you can, and no matter what happens, you'll be a winner.
And let's dive deeper into these games on Sunday because, of course, the NFL flexes that Washington-Philly game to Sunday night. And so both the Cowboys and the Giants go into this game thinking that they've got a chance to be hosting a playoff game next week if they can take care of business and win it. But two teams here in December that are going in different directions right now. As the Cowboys have won 3 in a row and the Giants have lost 3 in a row. What about the dynamics of this matchup on Sunday, Bucky?
Well, we talked about the confidence. The Cowboys have a lot of confidence because they're finally playing football the right way. On offense, they're taking care of the ball. They're finding a way to generate some explosive plays. And on defense, they're taking the ball away. And as long as you're able to produce turnovers, it gives you a chance to win. And that's why the Cowboys have been winning.
Very true. The difference maker here is, you have one team in the Giants that have played a much tougher opponents over the past 3 weeks. Cowboys haven't played as tough of opponents. However, the Cowboys have the confidence coming in. So it's going to be a battle not only of confidence, but it's going to be an NFC East divisional championship type game that's coming up. These boys don't like each other. It's going to be very physical. We're going to see who comes out on top.
And one thing that's been very consistent, when the Giants were on their mini winning streak, they were getting plenty of turnovers. They've been on a drought these last 3 games. They've only scored 26 points in a total of 3 games. So they got to score, and they got to get turnovers. They have a chance to beat the Dallas Cowboys.
And Nate, you led me perfectly into our next topic, which is this Cowboys offense. You talk about the Giants not scoring points. The Cowboys offense is on a roll right now. As Isaiah pointed out, the competition hasn't been the greatest the last 3 weeks, but they've got 3 straight games with 30 or more points. And let's talk those wide receivers. Wow, Michael Gallup was in a zone in the second quarter of last week's game against Philadelphia. He was like a 3-point shooter, just getting the ball. And then the other guys, Amari Cooper and C.D. Lamb in the second half of that game. Bucky.
Yeah, no, we talked about this wide receiver core potentially having 3 1,000-yard receivers when Dak Prescott was there. It took them a while to find their way with Andy Dalton, but they are absolutely killing it on the outside. Michael Gallup, C.D. Lamb, Amari Cooper. It's really hard to find 3 defensive backs that can cover those guys. The advantages are all in the Cowboys' favor on the perimeter.
Yeah, these boys are rolling. I mean, these guys look like they were running routes on air the other day, like pregame. It didn't matter who had the ball. These guys were all going to make catches and make plays. And then that way, Andy Dalton, the red rifle, that boy was locked and loaded, and he was rolling. Confident within the team. He's confident within Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is now confident with him and understands what he does well. These guys are rolling, and it's going to be hard to stop them.
Man, it's hard. It's amazing when you see a quarterback drop back smiling like, which one of these guys I'm hitting this candy store. So, hey, they're having a great time doing that right there, and they're going to put up some points this week.
And, of course, then again, the Giants have been playing stingier defense than what the Cowboys have been seeing lately. All right, we turn our attention to the Dallas defense when we come back. And how about the performance of Randy Gregory last week against the Eagles?
Special edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Salvation Army. doing the most good. And by AT&T. This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the new Sevens scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery. With top prizes up to $977,000. There's a Sevens scratch ticket for everyone. So play today.
I'm proud of my play. I'm proud of my commitment to keep coming back to play the sport that I love. But I'm never satisfied. I always think there's more to do, and I still feel the same way. There's more for me to accomplish. There's more on the table, and there's plenty of football left to play this year and beyond, and I'm really excited about that.
Brought to you by Auto Nation. There is Randy Gregory. What a performance he had a week ago against Philadelphia. Welcome back to Cowboys Special Edition, brought to you by AT&T. Bill Jones with Bucky Brooks, Isaiah Stanback, and Nate Newton. Let's talk about Randy Gregory. That performance last week against the Eagles, he had 6 tackles, he had a sack and a half, and he had 3 forced fumbles in that game. And he's really hitting his stride now as we get to the end of this season, getting more reps, getting more. He had 35 snaps in the game a week ago. Let's start with you, Isaiah. How about what Randy Gregory's doing right now?
The man's playing like his hair's on fire. I mean, he's playing like there's a pot of gold at the end of the season. And he's coming out here, he's playing rejuvenated ball. Obviously, he probably has the freshest legs out of anybody. But it's awesome to see him come out here and not only bounce back from his past, but also come out here and have a tremendous impact on his team. He went into his bag of tricks last week. He was spinning, he was going upfield, coming underneath. He was taking these tackles for a gambit ride, and it was pretty awesome, man. He was very impactful.
He was very, very sudden in everything he did. He would take a player upfield for about 3 yards, and all of a sudden he's back inside. This kid is hitting his groove. He's a great athlete, man. And the way he talked to the media after games, man, he's really settled in and locked in on what he's doing.
Nate, you talked about him being locked in. I think he has an opportunity to be a star in this defense. I think you see the combination of length, athleticism, and then relentless effort. He is a nonstop motor guy, and I think that is something that the Cowboys defense needed. I'm excited to see what he's been able to do because he's really added something to this defense.
And an interesting matchup this week against the Giants left tackle Andrew Thomas, their top draft pick, who struggled early in the season against speed rushers. We'll see what happens on Sunday against the Giants. On the other hand, how about the veteran Sean Lee? Leighton Vander Esch out last week. Looks like he'll be out with the high ankle sprain again this week. And it was Lee and Joe Thomas who split reps at linebacker last week. Sean Lee had 30 snaps. Isaiah, at 34 years old, Sean Lee has not announced whether the end is here this season for him, but at some point it will be. What do you look at with Sean Lee at this point in his career and what he can contribute?
Well, I know everybody talks about him being a coach in his post career, post football career. But he was a coach definitely on the field. Those guys were struggling early. They got behind. He took them to the sideline. I'm not sure what he told them. I'm not sure if he told them they're going to give him a little snack pack after the game, a little fruit snacks or something. But they figured it out, and he was that coach on the field. His not so much his physical presence, but his mentorship on the field has the greatest impact more than anything.
When I look at Sean Lee, I promise you, he was telling them, man, believe in your keys. Look with your eyes and believe what you're reading, and go to the football and play with authority. And that's what he does. He settles his team down and allows them to play with authority.
Isaiah and Nate, I think you guys hit on something because Sean Lee, I think, gives him that steadying force. And I think when he is on the field, it really allows Jalen Smith just to concentrate on playing, and Sean Lee can take over all the other stuff, the leadership part of it. And I think that is necessary. And so there is some value to what Sean Lee brings on the field. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back for another season just because I think the coaches recognize that value that he brings as a coach on the field.
And hasn't had the wear and tear this season, of course, missing the first half of the season, basically. He's played in 8 games so far, so it'll be very interesting. And against this Giants team on Sunday, an offense, of course, that he's very familiar with, Jason Garrett's offense with the New York Giants. All right, and when we come back here on Special Edition, we turn our attention to this Giants offense that has been struggling this season with Daniel Jones at the helm.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the new Sevens scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery. With top prizes up to $977,000. There's a Sevens scratch ticket for everyone. So play today. This segment is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a young quarterback. Has a lot to learn in the NFL. It's all about quarterbacks, feeling safe. And if their offensive line makes them feel safe enough to hold the ball for 3-4 seconds, so be it. But, that's not the case here. You'll see on Sunday.
Cowboy Special Edition continues now. That was DeMarcus Lawrence, brought to you by Nationwide, talking about Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, who returned to the lineup from injury a week ago. And the Giants fell against Baltimore in that game, and it's been a Giants team offensively that has struggled a bit this season. Daniel Jones, Nate, with 9 picks and 9 touchdown passes on the season in Jason Garrett's offense. What can the Cowboys expect against this Giants offense on Sunday, Nate?
One thing about this kid, he could run fairly well. He's not a great athlete, but he's good enough to get out of the pocket. But due to the injuries, he can't get out of the pocket. So, the young man spoke on him holding the ball. If you just keep him corralled, make him hold on to that ball, you can get a couple of picks from him and sack him. So, hey, gate's open for this young man.
The gate is absolutely open. In terms of being able to contain him. He's a fantastic athlete, but he is limited through the injuries. And so as we see this game evolve into one where the quarterback has to make plays, I don't know if he's going to be able to make the same plays that he was able to make early in the year.
I think if we've ever been prepared, it's been just right now. We face pretty much every running quarterback, mobile quarterback that this league has to offer. I don't think that Daniel Jones is going to present a problem for us in that regard. And plus, if our defensive ends continue to play like they're playing, they'll hold containment, and I think they'll force some turnovers for us.
That's right, from Kyler Murray to Lamar Jackson to Jalen Hurts last week. How about this Giants defense, though? It's been the strength of the team this season, and it's had to be for them to be up there with a chance to make the playoffs, even though they do have a 5-10 record. Blake Martinez in the middle at linebacker. Nate, when you look at this defense, you look at the big guys up front, and they're pretty big, and Leonard Williams with 8.5 sacks on the season has some stats to back it up too.
Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, they're holding ground, man. They're making it able for Martinez to be able to run around, make tackles. Their defense not easy to fool. If you go into motions and all of that, you're not going to fool Martinez. He's going to be there to make the tackle. So we got to be great at executing our plays.
Yeah, it's all about controlling the line of scrimmage. The strength of their team is right in that front line. Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, they're able to really control the trenches. And so if the Cowboys offensive line does what they've done the last 4 or 5 weeks, the Cowboys should have their way, because I think they can get those guys in the back end.
Agreed. Their team is up front, those big boys. If we can get past those guys and get to the second level, I think we enjoy a great day on the ground. We got our boy Zeke back with the good old spoon. I think he's ready to roll. Let's get to the second level and make some plays.
Well, and they do have Xavier McKinney back here the last quarter of the season, their second-round draft pick, the rookie. And James Bradbury, a cornerback, made the Pro Bowl this year. Nate, let me just ask you, Jason Garrett going up against his former team, how much motivation is there for Jason Garrett on a personal level to have success against the Cowboys on Sunday, you think?
Jason Garrett normally is not a motion team, but he watches film. Guess what he's going to do in his first 30 plays? Motion the Dallas Cowboys. That's motivation.
Very good. All right. And when we come back here on Special Edition, let's take a look at the matchups, the key matchups when the Cowboys take on the Giants.
This segment was brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by AT&T.
Cowboy Special Edition brought to you by AT&T continues as we get you set for the Cowboys and the Giants in the regular season finale, noon Dallas time on Sunday. Some key matchups to look for, and let's start with Isaiah Stanback, Zeke Elliott coming off a 100-yard game last week against Philadelphia. Not on the injury report this week. Says he's as good as he's been all year. Blake Martinez, pretty good middle linebacker for the Giants. That's your matchup, Isaiah.
Yeah, Blake Martinez, I think he has collectively about 140 tackles so far this year. He's a tackling machine. He gets to run behind those big boys up front. He gets to run free. But even though he gets to run free, at some point in time, he's going to meet that dude named Zeke the Freak in the hole. And I think Zeke, him and that head of his is going to run straight through Blake. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to make big plays.
And by the way, Mike McCarthy said on the coach's film, the Cowboys graded Zeke. He had 13 broken tackles last week against Philadelphia. All right, here is Nate's matchup. How about D-Law against former Cowboy Kim Fleming, who has been splitting some time at right tackle here recently for them. You think D-Law's licking his chops this week, Nate?
You know what, man? He done broke the bones and got the marrow out of him, man, because he should get straight up field and hurt this dude. There's some people the Cowboys didn't re-sign. I do not have a problem with it. Cam Fleming, we finna eat you alive, son.
Nate feeling it as we get into the new year. And how about Bucky? We flip it back over to the Cowboys offensive line. Joe Looney's been the starter at center. And Leonard Williams, one of those big guys up front for the Giants.
Yeah, Joe Looney, he has his work cut out for him because this front line is outstanding. They are big, they're physical, they do a great job controlling the point of attack. But it's critical that the offensive line has to win this battle because we've seen it. If Zeke is running well and he's able to get to 100 yards, the Cowboys are 24-4 in his career. So it's all about controlling the line of scrimmage. I think Joe Looney can play a big part in that.
Kind of reminds me of the 90s Cowboys, Nate, when if Emmett got 20 carries in a game, 100 yards, the Cowboys were winners. And by the way, once upon a time, Emmett had a pretty good game against the Giants in a decider at the end of a season. We all remember that. All right, when we come back here on Cowboys Special Edition, the keys to a Cowboys win and maybe the keys to a Philly win over Washington as well.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T. Special Edition, presented by AT&T, was brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. AT&T. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Final couple of minutes here of Cowboys Special Edition brought to you by AT&T. What are the keys to a Cowboys win over the Giants at noon Sunday? Let's go around the horn. Let's start with you, Bucky. What do you think?
Keep it simple. Take care of the football, run the football. This team cannot score a lot of points. So I would say even a very conservative offensive game plan, just don't mess it up. The defense is good enough to get the win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with on the offensive side of the ball. Let Zeke eat. He needs 20 carries consistently. Feed him the ball, and then on the defense side of the ball, keep everything in front of you, fellas. Be patient. Daniel Jones will give it up to you.
If the offensive line plays well, the Cowboys will win this game.
All right, simple as that. Okay, we got a bonus pick here. Go around the horn. Washington plays at Philadelphia, of course, on Sunday night. Cowboys win. And then they need Philly to beat Washington. What's the key to the Eagles beating Washington, Bucky?
It's all about following the no-hat rule. Jim Schwartz has said they don't want to see the Washington football team pop on their hats and T-shirts on the field, so they need to bring the energy. If they bring energy, they'll win.
Alex Smith not playing, and the Hurts business going off.
All I need is the end of the game. They be 1 point less than Philadelphia, and they will win the game. Thank you.
So Cowboys by 1, Philly by 1. Nate with the call, and it will be a happy new year for all Cowboys fans. They'll be hosting a game next week. We'll see you next week for a playoff preview of Special Edition.